Bernie Madoff was arrested on December 11, 2008. He was 70 years old then. Federal agents surrounded him. They took him away in handcuffs. Madoff's eyes were fixed on the ground. He knew his world was ending. The man who was once a Wall Street legend was now a convicted felon. He had stolen $65 billion from his clients, from his friends, from his family. The largest Ponzi scheme in history was finally unraveling. Madoff's empire was crashing down. But how did it all begin? How did he get away with it for 17 years? It started in Queens, New York. Bernie Madoff grew up there. He was born on April 29, 1938. His parents were Sylvia and Ralph Madoff. They were Jewish immigrants from Poland and Romania. Madoff's father was a plumber. He struggled to make ends meet. Madoff's mother was a homemaker. She took care of Bernie and his siblings. Madoff's childhood was modest, but he had big dreams. He wanted to be rich. He wanted to be successful. He graduated from the University of Alabama. In 1959, he married Ruth Alperin. She was his high school sweetheart. Madoff started his career on Wall Street. In the early 1960s, he worked for a trading firm. He quickly learned the ins and outs of the stock market. He became a successful trader and made a name for himself on Wall Street. Madoff's rise to fame was swift. He started his own firm in 1960, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. It was a small firm, but Madoff was ambitious. He hired his brothers, Peter and Andrew Madoff. He hired his sons, Mark and Andrew Madoff. The firm grew rapidly. Madoff became a respected figure on Wall Street. He was a pioneer in electronic trading. He was a member of the Nasdaq board. He was a successful businessman. He made millions of dollars for himself and his clients. Or so it seemed. The world thought Madoff was a genius, a master of the stock market. But what was really happening behind the scenes? Madoff was running a Ponzi scheme. He was using money from new clients to pay returns to old clients. He was creating fake statements and fake trade records. He was living a lie. But no one suspected a thing. The first crack in the facade appeared. On December 10, 2008, Madoff received a visit from two federal agents. They asked to speak with him in private. Madoff knew something was wrong. He tried to stay calm, but he was nervous. The agents asked him questions about his business, about his clients. Madoff tried to answer, but he was evasive. The agent sensed something was off. They left Madoff's office with more questions than answers. Madoff knew he was in trouble. He knew his empire was crumbling. But he didn't know how much trouble. He didn't know how much time he had left. The agents would return with a warrant for his arrest. Madoff's world was about to collapse, and he would take many people down with him. But for now, he just waited and wondered what would happen next. The clock was ticking, and time was running out for Bernie Madoff, the man who had stolen $65 billion and gotten away with it for 17 years. But not for much longer. The end was near, and it would be devastating for Madoff, for his clients, for his family. The consequences of his actions would be severe and long-lasting. But for now, Madoff just waited in his office, alone and afraid of what was to come. The wait was almost over. The agents would return and Madoff's life would never be the same. Again. The clock was ticking, and Madoff's time was running out. Fast. The end was near. And it would be brutal. For Bernie Madoff, the man who had stolen $65 billion and lived a lie for 17 years. But the truth was finally coming out. And it would be devastating. For everyone involved. The wait was almost over. And the consequences would be severe. For Madoff. For his clients. For his family. The end was near. And it would be a disaster. A complete and utter disaster. For Bernie Madoff. And everyone who knew him. The clock was ticking. And time was running out. Fast. The wait was almost over. And the truth would finally be revealed. In all its glory. And it would be ugly. Very ugly. The end was near. And it would be a catastrophe. For Bernie Madoff. And everyone who had trusted him. The clock was ticking. And time was running out. Fast. The wait was almost over. And the consequences would be severe. For Madoff. For his clients. For his family. The end was near. And it would be a disaster. A complete and utter disaster. For Bernie Madoff. And everyone who knew him. The clock was ticking. And time was running out. Fast. The wait was almost over. And the truth would finally be revealed. In all its glory. And it would be ugly. Very ugly. The end was near. And it would be a catastrophe. For Bernie Madoff. And everyone who had trusted him. Federal agents returned on December 11, 2008. They arrested Madoff at 8:30 a.m. He was led out in handcuffs. His world was collapsing. The news spread like wildfire. Clients were shocked. They had trusted Madoff with their life savings. Many lost everything. Their retirements. Their homes. Their security. Madoff's family was also affected. His sons, Mark and Andrew, were devastated. They had worked for their father. They had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. The family's reputation was ruined. Their name became synonymous with greed and deception. The media frenzy was intense. Reporters swarmed Madoff's office. They searched for answers. But Madoff remained silent. He said nothing. As he was led away, the once respected businessman was now a convicted felon. His empire was crumbling. Fast. The collapse was swift. Madoff's firm was shut down. Assets were frozen. Investors were left stranded. The SEC launched an investigation. They searched for evidence of Madoff's wrongdoings. They found plenty. Fake statements. Fake trade records. A massive Ponzi scheme that had been running for decades. The news shocked the world. On December 12, 2008, the New York Times headline read, "Madoff arrested in $50 billion Ponzi scheme." The world was stunned. How could this happen? How could one man steal so much from so many people? The aftermath was devastating. Madoff's clients lost billions. They lost their life savings, their retirements, their security. Many were left with nothing. No income. No savings. No future. The impact was massive. It affected thousands of people around the world. Madoff's family was also affected. His sons, Mark and Andrew, were sued for their role in the firm. They lost everything. Their homes. Their businesses. Their reputations. Madoff's wife, Ruth, was also sued. She had benefited from the scheme. She had lived a life of luxury, paid for by the victims. The consequences were severe. For Madoff and his family, they lost everything. Their freedom, their wealth, their reputations. The lesson is clear. Greed and power can corrupt. Even the most respected people can fall victim to their own desires. The love of money can destroy relationships, reputations, lives. The story of Bernie Madoff is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of integrity in all aspects of life. It teaches us to be vigilant, to question those in power, to demand transparency and accountability. The story of Bernie Madoff is a reminder that money and power are not the only measures of success. Integrity and honesty are essential for a life of true value and purpose. If this story changed the way you think, hit like and subscribe. I release a new documentary every single week. And leave a comment below. I want to know, what did you learn from this?